Hey guys, welcome back to JALEN Says. Today I'm here with the Emmy award-winning Vincent.
Hey there, how's it going?
Good. So,
Studios. Hello, hello, hello.
you're in the studio?
Yeah, I'm at the station.
Wow.
So you'll get a tour. I'm just finding me a good spot to go and sit while we talk for a little bit, and then I'll give you a tour in a little bit.
That sounds nice.
So how's it going?
Good, how are you?
I am doing well, actually. It's been a busy day. I want to apologize to the people as they're tuning in with us now because it has it's been a busy day starting out, ripping and running. So let me see, this will work. I'll use this background for now. This will work for the moment. Hopefully we'll get some better background stuff. Yeah, so it was a busy start to the morning. I had to take a rental car back to the airport and get my car because I had traveled out of town to cover a story in Tulsa, Oklahoma that I posted on my website or Facebook about Black Wall Street. And so I've been in Tulsa, Oklahoma the past couple of days. So I get back, going to get my car, and there was an older lady that was there. She was having problems finding the gate she was supposed to go to or the terminal she was supposed to go to. She was all frantic and shaking, and so I was helping her out. So I missed my first shuttle bus as I was helping her with her situation, and then waiting for the second shuttle bus. And then, of course, we got it all worked out. She's good. She's on her way. But then I was running because I knew I had to be here for you for 3 o'clock. So I was like, okay, I'm running behind. So I'm getting the sweat off my forehead, and we're good.
So, what kind of things do you cover on your news show?
What kind of stuff do I cover? I cover actually a little bit of any and everything. My job title as reporter is general assignment, and that means I can cover any and everything. So I cover politics, I cover crime, I cover education, I cover, weather situations when there's been storms and stuff like that. Just that and everything in between.
Wow. That's incredible. So what made you start your little career in your big career? I mean, your big career in
Well, I started in college was what directed me this way. I went to college and I majored in mass communications with a minor in journalism, but it actually started probably way before that, but with things I didn't even realize, because I was good at English in high school and in school, and then I wanted to go to college and major in political science and then go to law school. I thought I wanted to be an attorney. I was going to be a lawyer, and that was my goal. But then once I made it to college, I was introduced to broadcasting, and I never really thought of it as a career. But then I realized it was stuff that I had been doing all along. In school, I was like a student council president. So I was making announcements at assemblies and different things. I grew up in a small country Baptist church where the kids did all the speeches for Easter, Christmas, different things like that. So I was always doing speeches at church. Youth Sunday, I was the one reading the announcements from the program, that every church has its announcements, I was the kid that did that quite often. So public speaking kind of was something I was always kind of doing. And then I had a camera as well. So I was always taking pictures. I love taking pictures. And I was even taking pictures for the college newspaper. And it was just a side hobby because they paid for it. I wasn't thinking of it as a career until I started realizing it could be part of a broadcasting career. And then I actually realized I had a voice in what news coverage could be, because as they were having editorial meetings to decide what stories were going to be in the paper, and then they would assign me to go take pictures of certain things that they wanted to put in the paper, I could make suggestions about, oh, what about this for a story? Or what about that for a story? and they actually accepted some of my ideas. And that's when I realized, like, wow, I can have a voice in what's going to be put on the news. And that was exciting to me. And that led me in the direction of this career.
Wow. So what made you, like, what was the first thing that really picked you up in your career?
What do you mean when you say pick me up in my career? What do you mean?
Like the first big thing you did.
Oh,
Like,
big story. Um, it it all depends. All of them have been big to me in some way or another. Mostly, I can tell you one of the first major ones that stick out to me was when I was in Monroe, Louisiana. No, I take that back. This is Shreveport, Louisiana. When I was working in Shreveport, Louisiana, they have Mardi Gras parades like you see in New Orleans where they're throwing the beads and all the people in costumes and everything. So I was covering a story there, covering the parade. And one of the trucks in the parade, which was actually a beer truck, cut a corner too sharp. The trailer ran over the curb where some kids were sitting watching the parade. And there was a little girl that was injured. She was only about 3 or 4, and it broke her legs. She was in the hospital, and it come to find out the guy who was driving that truck was actually drinking, and we all know drinking and driving is bad. And so he was being charged with it. I reached out to the hospital and to the mother. She answered the phone in the room. I identified I was Vince Sims, news reporter. The guy has been charged with drinking while driving. Would you like to talk to us about the dangers of that and show us how it's affected your daughter? She said yes. And she invited me and my camera person to the hospital room. We got a chance to see the young lady laying there in her bed. In all of the hospital, her legs were up in the contraptions. And the mom interviewed with us right there. And that was a important story because we were sharing an important message. But even for me as a young reporter to land an exclusive interview like that, because I was the only reporter the family talked to. And that was pretty cool that I was, a young reporter getting started out. I land an exclusive. It's an important major story like that. And I really created a bond with that family. And we, stayed in touch throughout the young lady being released from the hospital to her 5th birthday when she got her cast removed, when she could walk, to her 5th birthday party where she was walking, just along down the line of progressions with this young lady. So that was a pretty big one to start out. Now, you want to talk big ones since then. I have won 2 Emmys, 2 Emmy Awards, which are very big in our industry. And those were for covering marches and protests that have been happening, much like the ones we're seeing now, the Black Lives Matter. This was happening in Atlanta a few years back, and I covered those. And the coverage of that major story was big. And I also covered stories in Pittsburgh, pretty much the same, but it was for political figures that were coming to town for a G20 summit. So you have world leaders all gathering and people that are opposed to the world leaders. They were doing the same type protests, and my coverage out there of that as well won me an Emmy. So those have been pretty big too.
how did you feel when you got an Emmy?
Oh, it was exciting, but I got a question for you quick. Are you into sports? Do you like football, that type of stuff?
Basketball.
Basketball. Okay. Well, I don't have any real basketball big stories, but I have covered 3 Super Bowls now. So I've been to 3 Super Bowls. So I think you were just getting ready to ask me about winning an Emmy. How did that feel? That was very exciting. I mean, to know that it's just like what you see on TV when they're doing those award shows where they get up on stage, they read the list of people that are nominated. It could be 5 different people. And then they open the envelope and they say, and the winner is, and they're looking at it and they call out the name. It's truly like you see. We were like shouting in the room. It's like, woohoo, I get to go up on stage. They hand me the award and I get to hold the award and I get to give a thank you speech, and thank people and all that. So it was pretty cool. So the first one I won was great. Second one I won was even like probably more special because my mom was in town. She came to the awards banquet. My brother, his wife, my best friend, Doug, and of course my wife, she's, right there beside me at all times, Miss Samantha Sims. So of course, having all my family and everybody there beside me was just like, wow, I won a major award in front of them.
Well, you and your wife did do a lot of things together. I saw the weeks of you. She loves the weeks. So
Yeah, I would have to say she loves me a little bit. She was making those posts. I think it was like a 7-day post that people have been challenging people to do here on Facebook, and she got challenged and she did it, and she did it well. She picked some of our best pictures, and the last one is the one I love the most because it's one where I had picked her up and I'm holding her in my arms and we're just laughing our heads off. Yeah, that shows our life. That's pretty much our life right there.
wow. So how did you figure out what to wear for each day? Because you were matching.
So you mean like each day, like regular news day, or for those special events?
Yeah, special events.
Samantha does it. She usually picks it out and she'll say either what she's wearing and she wants me to match her, or if I already know what I'm going to wear, then she'll go in her closet and match what I'm wearing. So she likes to match.
Wow. Wow. So I know you're the sock man around here. Did you wear any socks?
That's a good question because I was, yeah, I do have on some decent socks. Hold on, let me see how I can finagle showing this. They're just blue with a little paisley action today. Hold on, bear with me. Since you asked.
Wow. You know, I tried to get some socks for this, but I went to the store. They said they had 10-year-old socks. They had some not 10-year-old words on those socks. I mean,
Oh, okay. Some adult phrases.
yes, they even had a bad word button.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Mercy. Yeah, you don't need those.
Nope. So now you're also the mask man, I guess.
Well, yeah, and as we're talking about socks, and bear with me, I'm going to move around a little bit. I'm going to try to put something up on one of these monitors so it's just not a black screen behind me, since we're just talking and chilling. Yeah, so the socks, as you mentioned, I do have an extensive sock collection. And hold on one second, you get to see some technical stuff happening here. Hello. Quick question. On the monitor behind the desk, maybe, could we get a NBC5 logo? Or talking? Yeah, NBC5 logo will work. I'm talking with a young man who has a talk show, and we're doing a talk show right here. This is one of our directors back here. I'll show you this room in a minute and all the technical stuff back here. I'll come back to this. Oh, you're fine. All right. So we were talking socks, right?
Yep.
I do believe I have roughly over 300 pair of socks in my collection. So I could technically probably wear a sock a day for a full year and not wear the same sock.
Wow. That's wow. Man, if I had any of those, if I had as many socks as you had, I'd probably just probably have like a plaque above the socks saying you inspired that.
Well, yeah, it is. It's grown. And once again, I've got to give credit to my wife, Samantha. She feeds into the madness. I started with socks and she likes to buy them for me. So I'm pretty easy to shop for. It's simply socks. There we go. How about that? That's a nice little background, huh? See, I've upped it up just a little bit. There we go. All right. So, then you went to masks. You were just asking about masks, right?
Yeah. I know you have a fraternity mask.
I do. I have that one, and I didn't bring my other one in here with me now that I'm in the building. I didn't bring them in here, or the one I wore I know I'm doing a lot of moving around trying to get situated. So yes, I've gotten some designer masks now. So I have a fraternity mask. I'm a member of Alpha Phi Alpha Fraternity Incorporated, founded back in 1906 in Ithaca, New York. A Phi. So I have that one. It's black with the black and gold with the A Phi A on it. I have another custom made one that has the Prince on it, Prince symbol, because I'm a big Prince fan. And I know that my wife is online, so she can drop the name of the designer because it's one of her friends. And I don't want to mess up and say the wrong name because I pronounce it wrong, I think. So I don't want to mispronounce it, but she'll drop that into the comments so you can get those, the designer ones that she makes. And then I have another friend, DeCarlo, Laron. He makes designer ones that are matching, bow tie, pocket square, and matching mask. So that one was pretty cool when I got that one from Laron DeCarlo, styled by DeCarlo. You can find him on Facebook and all the socials, styled by DeCarlo. He's out there. And those are pretty cool because you got the mask, you got a bow tie that matches the mask, like your bow tie, and a matching pocket square. And you know, with the coronavirus, it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. So we're going to be wanting to dress up when we do get to go some places, and we're going to have to wear masks. So why not be fashionable with that? Get you a mask with a design on it. Whatever you like, get that design on it, and that'll make you feel better about having to wear a mask out there because they got to be worn right now. That's the best and safest way to do it. So, and the little paper ones, they're good. They work, but they look like you just walked out of the hospital. I don't want to look like I just walked out of the hospital. I want to look a little stylish with mine. And then my mom, she even made me one. I have one from my mom. She made me one. And she offered to make me others too, but you know, I was paying for some anyway. So I was like, no, Mom, I'm good. The one will work. I've got others coming because Mom's is simple design and style. It's got little stars on it and everything. So it's like what a mother would make for you. But I kind of like these others as well. And oh, we had one more designs come through as well from she made some other things for us as well. My wife will have to put that one on there too and shoot me a reminder of who the other young lady was that is a designer. But these are all designers. They're out of Atlanta that have done all of these. There she is. She just put it in there. Shanae Gentel Ramsey. And
let everyone see it.
Oh, you got that operation there. Look at that. You can pop up the titles and stuff. So, yep. Oh, you know Laron. So, yeah, you're familiar with him. You've got that name.
Yep.
I see people's comments. Tracy Thomas talk about that sock ministry. You know, that's kind of funny that Tracy is saying it's a sock ministry because I do tag that on a lot of my sock posts because it kind of is a ministry in a way because socks to me are fun. They're uplifting. You know, there's a message you can send in some type of way. And some days I'll look at a sock or whatever one I'm going to wear that day, and I get a little inspirational message out of it. You know, if it's some of them have like blocks, you know, there's color blocks. And that's like, to me, I'll think of something like the building blocks of life. You know, everything we do in life is a block creating our masterpiece. Or, you know, I'll even Google a quote sometimes. If there's zigzags designs in my sock, I'll Google zigzag inspirational quotes and I'll find something that's related to, you know, you got to zig and zag to make it through life. And I'll post that with my sock picture because I have fun with it and I want to share that fun because we know social media, there's so much dark stuff out there and so much, you know, just depressing things you can see. So if I can post a sock picture and put a little inspirational quote to it, and if somebody's scrolling through their timeline and they see that and they're like, haha, that's cute. And if I made them smile or pause for just a second, saw something cute instead of something negative, then that's my ministry. That's what I'm putting out there. And I will often put some type of religious type of quote or scripture or something along to it if I can find one that fits.
Wow. Wow, I wish I could do that.
Well, just look for your socks at places like I'm trying to think what do I have? The kids apartments like K&G or what's the other one? The K&G type suit stores, because I know you like suits and like dressing up. So look for them in those places. Even like Burlington. It used to be Burlington Coat Factory. They'll have good socks, and those are always usually clean. They don't have, you know, any foul language on them. Ross's, Marshalls, all those type of places, you can find, you know, socks. You probably still need the kid sizes right now, but you can find those at those places. Even like Walmart, socks, designer socks, socks with designs are all over the place now.
Yeah, bye. Oh man, you may get me started. You may get me started. I may show up like every day on Facebook showing the new socks that I have.
Hey, it's fun. It's just something that's fun to do. You know, it's a relatively inexpensive hobby, so it's not like I'm collecting, you know, super expensive cars or something crazy. You know, nothing like that. It's socks. Pretty simple.
So, what is your who is, let's say if you have a inspiration for being a news anchor, who would it be?
Inspiration as a news anchor. Well, currently, right now, I am a big fan of Lester Holt. I think that he's very good, and I like watching him. Back in the day, though, for the older folks that would know, there was one gentleman, Bryant Gumbel. He was an African-American male on the screen back when, you know, I was young and watching the news, and that was inspirational to me. And, you know, I even liked his style. He was pretty famous with it. So he would be one, I would say. Those would be a couple of them. And then way back growing up in Arkansas, that's where I'm originally from, you know, I grew up in an era where we only had like 3 stations. You could watch the ABC, the CBS, and the NBC station, and we didn't have cable and all of the other 100 channels you get to watch today. And the news came on at a regular time at like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and, you know, folks had their favorite channel they would watch. And we had a couple of local people back then, and I don't even want to try to remember to call their names offhand right now, but there was local news people back in Arkansas that I watched as well. So they were kind of inspirational, I guess you could say.
What was your childhood like growing up?
I was a perfect little angel that never got into any trouble, that did exactly what my mom and dad told me to do every day. So it was a simple childhood. You believe that, right? So. Okay. My childhood growing up, it was actually, I had a good childhood. I grew up in Arkansas, southeast Arkansas. So there's a little town called Monticello in the southeast corner. That's where I went to school. But then if you drove about 16 miles outside of Monticello into the country, and then drove another half mile down a little dirt road, gravel road, that's where my house actually sat, in a community called Selma. They did pave the road, though, once I was about probably 5 or 6 years old, so it wasn't totally gravel the whole time. But growing up, it was nice. It was country life. It was kind of like you would see on TV a little bit. We had cows. My great grandmother had chickens. She had a chicken that would run around in her front yard and stuff. My grandmother across the road from us, they had hogs. So for the country folks listening, I've slopped hogs before. And when I say the term slopped hogs, that means you fed the hogs. You would take scraps from the kitchen. They would get dumped in a bucket out back. And then after a few days of dumping in the bucket, when the bucket is full, you take that bucket, take it over to the trough for the hogs and dump it all in there. So whether that's corn cobs, rotten fruit, scraps, whatever it is, you take that slop bucket, dump slop out to the hogs. So that's what you call slopping hogs. So I've done that. We never really milked cows, so I wasn't the country boy out there milking the cow every morning. But we had cows, had pet cows. There would be certain ones that were our pets. We could pet them. You know, they'd come up to us and stuff like that. I had pet deer. We caught a baby fawn once, and we had we raised it until it was older, and it was actually a buck. And then once it started sprouting horns, it was getting a little more rowdy for us. So Dad made us let it go, and we turned it loose. And it went out into the wild, but it would still kind of stay around close. It wouldn't come up to us, but it would come and hang around. We had pet ducks. We had 2 ducks, pet goats. So country was I was country. I was country as all get out right there. And for people that understand country talk, I've chopped cotton before too. I've chopped cotton. And that means when you see a cotton field and there's these long rows, if you have a garden or something, you know that we're talking about a row. That means you get out there with a garden utensil, a hoe, you walk that row and you're chopping the weeds out. You got to chop the weeds out like you would do your garden at home and your flower bed, but you would do that for a big field where it's like, as far as your eye can see, you just got a row you got to walk down. So that was that. So it was nice growing up that way because I honestly feel like I was probably not exposed to a lot of bad influences that you may have gotten in the city. And I was a very inquisitive kid. So, you know, I probably would have gotten into a lot more trouble had I been in the city and closer to things to get me in trouble. But we just got into good, fun country trouble.
Wow. So what was your dream college growing up? And did that like help with anything with your news career?
I'm sorry, I missed to say that first part again.
What was your dream college, and did that have anything to do with your news career?
No, UCA was my dream college. I knew that I wanted to stay in the state of Arkansas. And right there in Monticello, we had a university, which was the University of Arkansas, Monticello, but I didn't want to go to that one because it was 1 mile away from where our high school sat. Like the track team would jog out to the college and back. So to me, that would have been going to like the 13th grade. And I didn't want to do that. I wanted to go away. But, you know, we also have the University of Arkansas, Fayetteville, the U of A, the Razorbacks. That's a real big school in Arkansas. But honestly, I didn't want to go that far away because that was just too far from mom and dad. I wasn't ready to go that far off. So my choice was UCA. It was right in the middle of distance. The colors, purple and silver, which I love purple. That's my favorite color. So that was a big factor in it too. So I wasn't looking at the school that I wanted to go to necessarily because of what I wanted to major in my career. I was looking for the perfect school location wise where I could go and figure out what I wanted my career to be and to the path to follow. And that was the University of Central Arkansas, the Fighting Bears in Conway, Arkansas.
Wow. Did you play many sports? Did you play football?
I was not the athletic kid. I played basketball for 1 season in junior high just to try it out. That didn't really work for me. I wasn't into football. I didn't understand the concept of like hitting people and letting people hit you and the whole tackling and people coming after you if you get the ball. When I was younger, that didn't make a sense to me. I'm like, well, I don't want somebody beating up on me out there like that. So I didn't do football. I did play tennis. I played tennis in high school and I was pretty good. I was a pretty good tennis player. I stayed ranked in the top few of our team, and it was, that was fun. And I still like tennis today. So that's kind of my sport of choice. But that was all. I wasn't a sports guy.
Wow. That's odd.
Well, and I'll explain a little bit. Part of that is growing up where we grew up in the country. My dad, he wasn't a big sports guy because as a farmer, he's up at sunup out tending to the crops and the cattle. And he's doing that until sundown. And, even on Saturdays and then Sunday, that's the Lord's Day. We go to church, we come back, we have family time. So dad never really sat and watched sports all the time. So it wasn't like he was cheering on a certain football team or a certain basketball team. And so because he wasn't that type of fella, I didn't learn it from him. It's never like I sat and watched with him, like, oh, we got to watch this game, or, oh, we're cheering for, the Cowboys, the Saints, whoever at the time. So that wasn't a big part of our childhood growing up. And even playing on the teams in school, mom was a 3rd grade teacher. So she was at school all day. So living so far outside of town, we didn't stick around for the after school practices and stuff because mom had stuff she had to do. So it wasn't super convenient for us to do that. But now I watch sports, if the fellas want to get together and watch something, I enjoy the idea of gathering with people and sitting and watching, but you're not going to find me at home sitting by myself, you know, watching a football game or the basketball games just because I'm that into sports that I just gotta have it going. That's not me.
Wow. Still very odd.
Okay. All right. I'm going to say what's up to a couple of people. Mr. Ty Martin, I see you joining in there as well. Mr. Playwright Ty Martin. Hey, what's up? Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for everybody that's watching. Sandy Davis Miller, I see a comment there. The Mrs. Miss Samantha Sims is commenting as well. Tracy, I already spoke to. Deja Vu, thanks for watching. Ramona Murphy Ryan, hello. They're still on. Miracle English, hello. So I just want to say hello to the folks that are there.
How does it feel to be interviewed? Because you're normally the interviewer.
It feels very odd. I don't, like you said, this is not the normal for me. So for having people asking me questions and opening up and sharing about my life, it feels strange to talk about yourself and to share life stuff. It's fun. I like it. I think it's going okay. I think I'm giving you what you want to know. But it's a strange feeling. I would much rather be asking the questions. And even right now, I catch myself wanting to ask you some things right after you ask me something. And I'm like, no, I'm not supposed to be asking him. I'm just supposed to sit and let him ask me. So I'm just sitting and not asking you questions.
Well, that's fun back and urge, isn't it? Wow. This is fun.
Well, good. I'm glad you're enjoying. So I do want to ask you a question, though, because I'm on here on your show, and it's called JALEN Says. So explain to me, what is your show, and how long have you been doing this?
I have been doing it for a year in total, maybe. I started with a magazine. I wrote something on Emmett Till, and then I just started interviewing people just because I liked writing about people.
Okay. So what is your career goal? I mean, you've got your show, you started writing a magazine. So is something in the journalistic world something you want to do?
Let's say if something doesn't work out, I have a lot to fall on, like a lot. Yeah, so I may end up journalism. I may even be a news anchor like you. Hopefully a Emmy Award winning news anchor like you.
Awesome. I can see that happening. You are well on your way. So journalism, whatever you decide to do, I think you'll do well with it. And it's also good to have backup plans, you know, to have other options if something doesn't work out, because as we see right now in the crazy world we're living in, you know, coronavirus has affected a lot of people. But if people have a backup plan or something they can fall back on if one thing falls through, then hey, it's a good way to be.
It is. So, I know your goal career was to be a lawyer and stuff like that, but what was the first career you wanted to be?
First career, hold on one second, let me grab something right here. I gotta lean over. I'm still here. I didn't go anywhere. So first career, I'm not sure when I was real young exactly what I wanted it to be then, but attorney. You know, when I said I went to school, that was my goal. I wanted to be an attorney. I could see myself, you know, in a courtroom, being probably a defense lawyer. I think I wanted to defend people more than prosecute people. But I could just see myself in a courtroom trying to talk to a jury and, giving statements and facts about this person and trying to do whatever I could in a court. So I've always liked that, the courtroom stuff. So attorney was one. I don't know if there was anything else when I was younger that I truly wanted to be. I was a lifeguard for a while. It's kind of I love to swim, and I became a lifeguard, and that was fun. Working at a water park for a summer. That was pretty cool.
Well, I guess you had one athletic thing. I mean, three athletic things.
Mhm. A little bit, yes. I had a little bit of athletic stuff in there.
Well, now you're a news anchor. So, what is it like to just be a news anchor? Like, what is your everyday life as a news anchor?
Everyday life as a news anchor. Yes, thank you, Samantha. Shay makes the mask too. We got masks from Shay Sutton. She's the other one who makes the designer masks as well. Sorry about that, Shay. I was drawing a blank. Please forgive me. Charges to my mind, not my heart. We love you. So my normal day as a news anchor. So like today, I'll be anchoring the news today. We have a 6 o'clock newscast today. And I come in, we normally will have our editorial meetings around, the time period we come in where we talk about the stories of the day, what reporters are covering, what stories, and I know about that. And then I go to my desk and I log on to our show rundown. So the producers are out there now and they're building the show. So they know what's going to be the first story that I read, the second, third, and all the stories, they put it in order up until that first commercial break and then up to the next break. And for me, I am reading over these stories. I'm making sure I can pronounce words correctly, that I understand the story, that the information is there, that it makes sense to me. And if I'm not understanding it, then I can't really read it well for the viewers to understand it. So I'm trying to make sure I'm doing that correctly. And just having a voice input. If I see a story that maybe I don't totally agree with or something, then I can question it and be like, well, why is this? Or shouldn't we add this in there to balance it out to make sure it's, a balanced story? So that's kind of my role as the anchor. And then I'm the one who delivers it. So I've got to go on camera and present the news in a trustworthy type of clear diction way that makes people who are sitting home watching the news want to sit and listen to me. And hopefully tune in again another day.
Wow. Well, you just put something on that monitor, I see.
Yes. So what you'll be seeing now behind me, this is one of the monitors because I'm in the studio. So when you're watching the news, there's graphics that pop up. There's different things that pop up over the anchor's shoulder that you're reading about. So that's what you're going to see. They're doing the test run and putting things in there right now. So that's one of our monitors back there behind me. And that's actually the story that I did when I said I went to Tulsa for a news story. That's the one. Black Wall Street in Tulsa is on Greenwood Avenue. And back in the teens in 1920, it was a bustling Black business owned district, like 35 city blocks of Black businesses, theaters, hotels, restaurants, doctors, lawyers, just, entertainment spots, everything. And then sadly, it was destroyed in 1921 during a race massacre where mob of white people that was upset over a situation came in and just burned and killed a lot of people. So that's a part of history now, the 1921 Tulsa massacre. But I went to Tulsa to cover that story. So that's part of what they're putting in that monitor. Then there's another monitor behind us that's going to have the NBC5 logo. And then across the room is our radar. So that's showing all of the places. Yeah, thank you, Samantha. Vivian Dinks Smith makes the mask as well. We got some from there as well. V Dinks Styles and Designs. So what I'm going to do is just try to step out of the way and I'll show you. That's our news set. So that's the set. That's where we sit, where we're doing the news. That's where the anchors sit. And then these are our cameras are here. And those cameras are robotic. So that means nobody actually stands here and operates them. They're like controlled by the people in the back. So they can control them like with a joystick. And then there's you on camera, on our camera. I know it's a little bright, can't see it, it's totally right, but that's when the cameras are on us and we're looking at them there.
Wow.
That's that. That's where we're reading the teleprompter. That's the teleprompter action. And then this is the weather center. So I'm trying to look at two different screens here. So can you see me? Can you see my face right now on your screen? No.
Nope.
But you do now, right?
Yes.
I was trying to see how wide it was, but so I'll keep it here. So there's where the weather people are when they're sitting here doing their weather reports. They can talk and they'll be pointing. They're talking about, so we got, Fort Worth is here. We got Fort Worth action happening, and then storms may be moving towards Dallas. Dallas is back over here. So this is where they're standing and doing their stuff. And this is more of their area over here. We do have a green screen, like you'll see the chroma key, but it's up right now. They don't have it down where everybody can see it. All right. So would you like to see a little bit more of the building?
You can take us on a tour while I ask questions.
Okay, we can do that. So let me get myself situated and put my chair back and we'll go for a walk.
How did you feel when you first went into the studio?
It was pretty exciting coming in here for the first time, just to see everything. And okay, there's another. Samantha's got me on point with all of our masks. Crystal Davis, yes, she makes those designer masks as well. Crystal is awesome. That's the sign language for, yep, you made the post. You posted up there. One more mask made, Crystal Davis. Yes, that's the sign language for I love you, Crystal. She's great. She's an amazing designer, and she is deaf. An amazing designer. All right. Thank you, Ty. Glad you liked the tour. Okay. So let's go for a walk.
Walking and talking.
Walking and talking. So there again, there's the studio. Big wide shot of what it all looks like across through there. And it was exciting to come in here because it's big, it's flashy, it's NBC, and it's just amazing to be in here and to be a part of this team. Just gonna pop my head in. We're not, there's nobody in here, so we're good. So it's real dark in here, so you won't be able to see a lot, but this is where the directors sit. So wow. I call it like, it looks like a starship or a spaceship in here because they have all of these buttons right there. And then control room. And all of this right here is all switches and buttons. And this is what they work with. And all of these monitors, they're watching this stuff the whole time. So they're the ones that are sitting back here when you're watching a newscast and you see the anchor sometimes might put their finger to their ear and they're listening like, oh, my producer's telling me we have breaking news coming in. It's coming from back here and they're telling it to us in our ear. And when you see certain video roll, when we talk about, oh, we've got video of this amazing sports happening right now. Let's take a look at that video. They're the ones back here punching the buttons and making that video roll so you actually see it as we're talking about it. And they're choosing which camera we're looking at when we're told to look at, camera 1. Okay, now go to camera 2. Okay, now camera 3, go camera 3. So they're the ones doing all of that. And so that's our room on this side. But NBC also works with Telemundo 39, the Spanish speaking station. And they have the same exact stuff for their room on their side.
Wow.
All right. Hello.
What? How's your life changed since quarantine started?
Whew. That's a good one too. I'm going to answer that question from right in here. Can you read that?
Make our room.
Yeah. The makeup room. So this is where we put on makeup. TV people have to wear some makeup so we don't be all shiny and whatnot on air. All right. And this is where we do get dressed for shows too. As you can see, she's got all of her outfits lined up in there. And my suits are in here. So there you go. This is the makeup room. So we have our lights so we can sit and do lighting and put on a little makeup and powder and everything. So I'm just going to sit in one of these for a second because it's good lighting in here. And I will answer a question for you. So you said, how has life changed since coronavirus? Yeah. For me, it first started out where we stopped coming to the station. They didn't want a lot of people coming in this building to try to keep it a clean, safe space. So I started doing stuff from home, still reporting. So all of my interviews were done just like this with you, through Zoom or FaceTimes, and we would record those. I wasn't going out being around people. And then we did a lot of stuff like that remotely. I even did a newscast from home in my dining room. A photographer came over, we set up all the equipment, and I did the news while sitting at my dining room table instead of coming in here to the station. And that's probably been the biggest change, is just how we gather the news. There's no more going and sitting face to face with somebody and just, doing an interview that way. And if we do, if we do a face-to-face interview, we're using our microphone is on a stick that's at least 6 feet long so we can stand apart from each other. So that's
how has your regular life changed since quarantine?
I haven't been able to socialize with friends and go out to eat and dinner and stuff. Samantha and I, we loved restaurants, going out, exploring the new city. I mean, we're new to the Dallas-Fort Worth area, so we were going out and seeing different things and exploring. That's all been shut down. Here we go. Right here. There's my locker.
Wow.
So I have my own locker in here, and I keep a backup of clothes here because you just never know if you might spill some spaghetti sauce on your shirt or tie. You've got to have backups just in case you need to do a switch out. So that's that space. So that's been the biggest change for me, is just not being able to see people in person, my friends, hang out with them, just embrace people. Like right now, you're supposed to stay 6 feet away from folks, and you can't hug anybody, your friends, your loved ones. It's kind of hard to just be able to see each other and do that type of stuff. So that has been a big change as well, personally. And then I was going to show you one more room back here. This is another one of our master control areas. So they too are watching a whole bunch of monitors, and they're in control of all the national feeds coming in, reporters, stuff, making sure all live shots are set and different things. So that's what they control all back there. That whole room is all of that stuff. And then you can just see the newsroom as a whole right here. So all these desks are where reporters, anchors, producers, let me go this way. Reporters, anchors, producers, directors, some of everybody sits around in this space. Sports people. It's the weekend, so obviously we have less people here today on a weekend than normally. And as I mentioned, we also work with Telemundo 39, the Spanish-speaking station, and they have the same stuff on their side. So there's the Telemundo 39 logo, and then this side of the room is all of their reporters, producers, anchors. And that is all their sides. We have dual split sides that are exactly the same for the news process.
Wow.
All right.
I heard you been in other news channels before you switched.
Yes, I have. I've done. This is actually like my. Well, let me just give you the rundown. We'll just go through the list of them. Let me go back through this door. Uh, so I started my career right out of college in Little Rock, Arkansas. I was at a CBS KTHV in Little Rock. Spent a few years there. Then I was in Monroe, Louisiana at KTVE, NBC. And then I was in Shreveport, Louisiana, which was KTBS. Then Tulsa, Oklahoma, KJRH. Then Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at WPXI. And then Atlanta, CBS 46. And now here at KXAS, NBC 5, Dallas Fort Worth.
Wow. So you got 2 Emmys and 1 other award. What was that?
Yes, I also have a I'm drawing a blank on what my Murrow a Murrow Award, which is like the it's another level of the Emmys. It's actually many considered even a higher level of award for that. So I do have that one as well. And then I've gotten other awards or recognition awards because I do a lot of MC work, speaking to a lot of different groups and events. And so I've got quite a little collection of different statues, little trophies, little recognitions for thanks for doing those type of events and stuff.
Wow. That's incredible.
Thank you.
So, what award is your favorite?
Obviously, my Emmys would be my favorite. But then besides that, when it comes to just actual statues or recognition plaques and different things I've gotten, I do have one pretty cool one, and I'm not going to remember which organization because we've moved and they're all packed away and there's no way for me to remember, but it is shaped like a microphone. It's in a crystal type of casing, and it's got a old school looking microphone in it. That was pretty cool just because it's a microphone and, you know, we like it. I like it. It's cool looking.
That's incredible. How many words do you have?
Ooh, I couldn't even begin to count for you. I mean, I had a couple of, I had several shelves that were, you know, many of them stacked on there. Because you got to think, I've been doing this job. I've been in this career 26 years now. And so out of all of that and all of those different stations I've worked at, I've accumulated quite a few plaques and awards.
You've been in this business as long as 2 me's.
Yes, I have. In your lifetimes, I've been working in the media industry.
Wow. If I had those many awards, I would still put a plaque up saying, wow. I would have a plaque saying, wow.
It is. It's a pretty it's a nice feeling. Because I mean, many of those are like I won the Emmy. So that means that my work was judged by other peers, media people in another market, and they said that's, you know, the best. That was the best of the work. So that makes you feel really proud. But it's a good feeling too, looking at all the other plaques and statuettes, just because that means people care. They liked whatever I've done for them, be it an MC, whatever, you know, I hosted their event or something like that. So for them to take that time to give me that as a recognition, it just makes you know that people appreciate what you've done. And that's a good feeling.
Wow. I'm just going to ask you a question with the word wow implied. Emmy award winning, about a ton of awards. Like, you could fill two of my backpacks with awards.
Probably.
Maybe 3. Well, plus socks, that would probably be 35.
Oh man, with the socks, yes, we need some big old duffel bags for those.
Yeah, you may need a bag as big as a desk to handle those socks. I mean,
Exactly. You know, when you see those movies where they're robbing a bank and they have the big duffel bag on their shoulder that they go running out with and that full of money, we need a couple of duffel bags like that for the socks, for sure.
yeah, maybe 10. It's already see something. Well, before we go, I
Yes.
want everyone to know where we can find you.
Okay. All right. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and it's all Vince Sims NBC5. You can find me on there, and especially for Facebook, go onto that, the Vince Sims NBC5 page, and make sure that you like that page because they do track your likes around here and everything, and your followers, the number of followers. So be sure to follow me on my NBC5 page. You'll get a lot of news there, and occasionally some fun stuff and some sock posts and stuff. But definitely go friend and like that Facebook page. Become a fan of that. Vince Sims, SIMS, NBC5 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I don't do any of the other things, TikTok and Snapchat and Wizamazoo and all that, whatever else. I don't do those. I don't even know what Wizamawoo is, if it is anything.
Well, just thank you for being here. Just thank you.
Well, Jalen, thank you for having me on. I appreciate this. And again, when I say, you know, you feel good about certain things, I was honored that you asked me to be a part of this because I've seen some of your other guests, and I know that you've had some very high profile Hollywood established actor people that have been on your list that you've interviewed. So I'm honored to be included. So thank you very much, young man. And I'm wishing you all the best because you're doing great things already at this young age with your magazine, with your talk show, with all you're doing. So just keep it up. You will do well.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Well, that was Jalen Says. Thank you guys for joining in. Tune in for another episode. Bye.